fire and ice.
We know you're wondering if we'll see more snow this time around in central PA.
With winter approaching, it's time to hunker down on those home repairs.
It's maybe a little scary, but it is important to get up there, and check it out.
Helping you keep the cold out and the heat in.
If there's cracks, it becomes a little more dangerous.
Keeping your family safe.
I mean, the last thing you want is a fire in your household before the holidays.
And saving you money in the process.
If there are small problems, we can catch them early, fix them before they turn into major problems.
Stay home smart this winter with Fox 43. Thank you for joining us for the special edition of Fox 43 News. Home Smart, get set for winter. It's December, and that means another winter season is upon us. Over the next half hour, we're going to make sure you're prepared for whatever winter throws at us this year, from heating your home to saving money and even staying safe on the road. But first, what you can expect from Mother Nature. After below average snowfall last winter, will we get more use out of the snow blowers this time around? Fox 43's meteorologists Andrea Michaels and Danielle Miller start us off with the Weather Smart Winter Outlook.
Last winter came up short for snow lovers.
And we know you're wondering if we'll see more snow this time around in central PA.
But before we look ahead, let's look back at last season. We forecasted a milder winter with below average snow, mostly because of a La Nina for the third winter in a row.
And all of this panned out. But in the name of accountability, Harrisburg fell 10 inches below our 14 to 24 inch range. We knew December was going to be the best chance for a big storm. It didn't happen. This winter, the setup is different with the return of El Nino.
Although that usually means a warmer winter here, it doesn't always mean less snow. We've had two exceptionally snowy El Nino seasons in the last 20 years with almost 60 inches for Harrisburg. Don't expect a repeat.
During an El Nino season, the temperatures along the waters of the Central Pacific are warmer than average, unlike the cooler waters of last year's La Nina. And where you see the warmest water, that matters too. Our snowiest El Ninos had cooler waters closest to the South American coast and far in the Western Pacific.
This time, warmer temperatures are spread all over, telling us nope. In fact, this El Nino could strengthen further and look more like the 1997 to 1998 season. It was one of the strongest and disappointed snow lovers. Harrisburg only got 10.5 inches of winter snow.
But there are a couple of other patterns that we looked at last year that could tip the scales away from that outcome. The Pacific Decadal Oscillation remains negative currently, which means cooler waters are located off of the west coast, and that brings cooler, more unsettled weather to the western U.S. In the eastern U.S., this allows for drier and milder conditions.
Now, history shows a shift could happen around late winter or spring. El Nino has often helped. However, scientists can't predict just yet when these shifts might happen. If so, colder air from Canada could better connect with storms from late January through February.
The polar vortex looks different too. When it's strong, cold air stays up north. We're expecting more breaks of cold air by early to mid-January, but they have to reach us. And that's where a shift in the Pacific Decadal Oscillation could help us out.
So putting it all together, we think this winter is going to be milder again with more snow than last year. However, snowfall totals fall slightly below average. Here's what it looks like when we put some numbers on it.
We're forecasting a seasonal average temperature 1 to 3 degrees above average, mostly because of December through early January.
February is going to be our wild card month and brings hope for a major snowstorm or two. We are forecasting 17 to 27 inches of snow. We're banking on those cold bursts of air connecting with more storms so we can play catch up.
And we don't think there's a big difference in totals across our area like last year. We're going to make some bold predictions of 25 inches for Harrisburg. Since Lewistown is to the northwest and usually a little bit colder, we're saying 27 inches. We think Lancaster looks similar to Harrisburg as well, with a bold prediction of 24 inches of snow.
Also worth noting that if this El Nino turns into a strong one and February underperforms, we will fall below these projections. But we'll hold ourselves accountable and check back in to see how we did.
And regardless of the outcome, you can count on the Fox 43 Weather Smart team to keep you safe and prepared this winter season.
That is both of their favorite times of the year, so we're glad to see the winter outlook here for the next few months. Now on to heating your home. Regardless of what your primary heat source is, the winter months can prove to be the hardest on your home. I spoke with wood and gas heating experts to find out how to safely stay warm during the coldest time of the year.
With gas and wood, each are different.
Different, but with the same goal of keeping you and your family warm all winter long. Regardless of if you're an experienced homeowner or first-timer, experts say doing your research is vital. Matt Freeberg of Anderson Chimney and Masonry is one of those experts.
You just want to really make sure you know your stuff before you're kind of just jumping into it.
Knowing your stuff starts with the basics, simply keeping things clean. Pat Kazar is an HVAC service manager with Shipley Energy, taking us through a simple furnace service.
Make sure that all of our controls are working, all our safeties are correct. The fan, to make sure that, it doesn't have a lot of dirt and needs to be cleaned. We'd also want to check the air filter to make sure that, the air filter isn't dirty.
Replacing air filters, simple. Knowing your stuff, a little more research.
You always want to look for your MERV rating. Okay, that's how well it filters. And you want to at least be a MERV 10, if not a little bit higher.
Chimneys have a checklist of their own.
We're going to scan everything. We're going to look in your chimney with a camera, send it right up, look to see if their inside is safe. We can see the joints from the inside on the bricks. If there's cracks, it becomes a little more dangerous. Is there a buildup of creosote? Is there a buildup of, just a lot of wear and tear on the chimney? Do you have a liner installed? That's a good way to make the function better.
And whether simple or complicated, early action tends to help you stay warm and protect your wallet.
If there are small problems, we can catch them early, fix them before they turn into major problems.
Winter months can also bring unexpected power outages, so experts recommend a whole house surge protector on your breaker box for appliances throughout your home. Also, make sure you check your outdoor unit to make sure the fan inside is working throughout the year. You can do everything right, though, and still miss out on properly heating your home if your windows and doors aren't properly maintained. While you're never going to have a window that doesn't allow for some air to make through to protect from buildup of harmful gases in the home, experts at West Shore Homes say you can let a lot of money flow from your pocket and out the window.
You have to watch out between your two sashes. This is the place where the air is going to come through, and right here on the sides of the top sash. Once the air comes through, that means the moisture can come with it in the air, which means it can freeze or it can leave residue and start to mold and mildew inside there.
Checking caulking and weather stripping for cracks around windows and doors, and making sure to keep wooden window frames painted or treated are the most common ways to prevent moisture buildup and damage from the large temperature swings the winter months can bring. All of that is important information, as your heating bill will likely get more expensive during the colder months. Fox 43's Jackie DeTore finds out what you should unplug to save some cash, plus how shopping around could be beneficial for your bank account.
Cranking up the heat at home is getting more expensive in Pennsylvania. Many companies are increasing what's known as the price to compare, which is typically the most expensive part of your energy bill. That's the price per kilowatt hour or therm your company will charge. But you can shop around to find a cheaper option. PAPowerswitch.com allows you to shop for electric suppliers. And you can check out different gas suppliers at PAGasSwitch.com. If you do choose to shop, you're not changing your electric company. For instance, if you pay your bill to MetEd, you would still be doing that. Now, you'll see some different option when it comes to rates. There's the variable price. That can change daily, monthly, or even another term that is defined in a contract. Then there's the fixed price. That means the kilowatt hour price or therm price you select will stay the same for the term of that contract. Now, this doesn't mean your bill will be the same for that long, though. Your bill will still rise and fall based on how much energy you use each month. You could also look for unlimited options. This is a monthly rate that is not based on usage. Now, if you do want to shop to save, just remember that you're typically entering some sort of contract with a supplier. So it's up to you to remember those terms. Now, shopping isn't the only way to save, though. Unplugging some of your appliances can help too. So, which ones use the most energy? Well, anything with a remote control, like TVs and gaming consoles. Those are on standby mode, just waiting to be turned on and wasting energy. Another thing that's eating away at your money is anything with a time display. Think your coffee maker. These appliances are all using what's called phantom energy. The National Resource Defense Council says we spend $19 a bill on appliances and electronics just like this. If you really want to know exactly what your usage breakdown is, you can buy an energy usage monitor. Those will cost you about $15 to $30. And if you have a consumer story or scam that you want me to look into, Fox 43 wants to find out. Let me know. Email Fox43finds out at fox43.com or join the Fox 43 Finds Out group on Facebook.
It's one of the places you probably rarely visit in your home, but it could be the source of major damage if not taken care of now and then.
So when you look up, do you see any black or white mold?
We take a trip to the attic to find out what you should be doing to keep dangerous conditions from developing there, plus expert advice to make sure your roof is doing its job.
We have a lot of days where there's water and freezing. As that water freezes, it expands and it's going to try to get underneath your shingles.
Sounds expensive, but it doesn't have to be. The one thing you can do right now to protect your roof from snow and ice. As we prepare for another winter, let's take a quick look back to 1996 and a snowstorm few will ever forget.
Jackie Wettig and her neighbor are wearing a path back and forth across the street with their snow shovels. The goal is to uncover a few cars, avoid getting frustrated by the weather.
My first thought is it's, really beautiful, it's nice, but when it gets this magnitude, it's just a pain in the butt. You get a little stressed because, you have to get to work eventually. And
when you have to start shoveling this is murder. This is murder on your back. You just have to take it easy. And then we're going to go in and have some cappuccino after a while, and it'll be okay.
Mike Krompaski and his dad have been at it for hours, and they're not getting too far. Is this your car?
Somewhere. There's an antenna. I think that's mine. It's a Mustang under there. So once I do get it out, I don't know that it's going anywhere. We'll see.
It's obvious that the folks along this block have decided it's just pointless to try and dig out their cars. They have a pretty good point. Take a look. I'm standing in the middle of the street. Those that are brave have different strategies. Some fight from higher ground, others take the direct approach.
whichever has the least amount of snow and is easiest to start with, and then we just work our way around.
No matter the method, the folks we talked to were taking the blizzard of '96 in stride.
Well, it would be bad if I had somewhere to go. I mean, I wouldn't want to be out traveling in it, but, again, this neighborhood, everybody just gets together, and, it's not bad being snowed in.
It took days to dig out.
Contractors clear snow from the overhang at this Lower Allen Township Mall. They hope to prevent a cave-in like this one at the end of the strip.
Well, it's snow being packed is pretty heavy right now, and once you get down to the bottom, it's all wet and ice. It's just, the wind's blowing it right back on.
And you can relive it all or experience it for the first time if you weren't around for the blizzard of '96, streaming now on Fox 43+. As temperatures fall and days turn shorter, many of us are spending more time inside. But before you fully hunker down for the winter, there are a few things you don't want to forget to do outside that will prevent damage to your home this season. Fox 43's Danielle Miller spoke with a local handyman to learn more about what you can do right now to prevent damage in the future.
When it comes to winter weather, you want to make sure your house is protected from water, snow, and ice. Adam Menser, owner of Adams Handyman and Contracting, says now is the best time to get preventative maintenance done to your home before that winter weather moves in.
It's a lot cheaper to clean out your gutters, for example, than having ice damage to your roof and your gutters and having to replace your gutters and parts of your roof.
Gutters are the first thing he pointed out when inspecting a home in Lancaster County. Once the leaves from your trees have fallen for the year, cleaning your gutters should be a top priority.
If you are not cleaning out your downspouts and gutters and there is a lot of ice, we have a lot of days where there's water and freezing. As that water freezes, it expands and it's going to try to get underneath your shingles, and it can cause damage to your actual roof sheathing and the shingles as well. So you could be looking at a lot more damage than just some, gutters.
Preventing issues both on and under your roof is a big deal, too. Menser suggests getting your roof inspected at least once a year.
Cracked shingles or broken shingles is something that you really just want to look out for, especially going into the winter, to make sure that we're not having any leakage, underneath that.
He also says you should look for discoloration or sagging on your roof. If you notice any of these issues, it's time to call a professional. And finally, while inspecting the outside of your house, make sure to check that you're turning your outdoor faucets and shutoff valves off.
If you leave this hose on here and you don't do anything to shut off that, there's still water in here. When water freezes, it expands. It's going to go back into that pipe and it's going to burst, and it's not going to be fun.
If you don't have a shutoff valve inside, a faucet cover will work to prevent freezing issues and can be purchased at your local home improvement store.
Now, most of these items can be done yourself. However, if you notice a bigger problem or are unsure of how to proceed with some of this home care, you can always call a professional to come and help. And don't forget what's under the roof. Up next, we find out what to watch out for in the attic.
Needs to be addressed, and that's for your own personal health, let alone the health of the attic.
Plus, planning ahead.
Flashlight, batteries, water. A lot of people don't think of that until it happens.
We'll help you put together an emergency kit so you're ready for anything this winter. Well, cold temperatures can wreak havoc from the basement pipes all the way to the top of your home. Fox 43's Tyler Hatfield went out with a roofer to learn about ways to protect your attic from damage this winter.
When you climb up into your attic this winter, there are things to look for when temperatures descend. Kevin O'Connell with Joyland Roofing says mold and condensation can be signs of an unhealthy attic.
So when you look up, do you see any black or white mold? So that's something that would be an indicator that something is seriously wrong and needs to be addressed. And that's for your own personal health, let alone the health of the attic. Also, you have nails. Pretty much every roof will have nails coming down through the substrate that you see. If those are rusted or if you actually see water droplets on them, that's a sign of condensation and is also an indicator of something is wrong with your attic.
There are solutions. Kevin says you want to make sure your attic has good insulation.
So you want your attic to be well insulated so that that warm or cold air does not come up and in the winter mix with cold attic air, which creates the condensation and then also mold.
Kevin also says ventilation plays a key role in protecting your attic during the winter.
So typically a healthy attic ventilation will have the peak of the roof system cut open. The wood will be down a little bit, giving a passage for air to go up through. You also want, in the eaves, you want your soffits open so that air will come in through the soffit and then travel up your attic space and out your peak.
While it may be uncomfortable getting up into your attic, Kevin says it's important.
It's not fun crawling into your attic. It's either cold in the winter or hot in the summer. And sometimes the access is through a closet. So it's maybe a little scary, but it is important to get up there, and check it out and check for these things.
Tyler Hatfield, Fox 43 News.
Attic, check. Roof, check. Heating and saving money, check and check. But what about the things you can't see coming?
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
The simple steps you can take to prevent bigger problems down the road, plus the items you always want to have on hand during the winter months. With winter on the way, now is the time to prepare for the case of an emergency. Fox 43's Logan Perrone went out to stock up on the things that keep you and your family safe all winter long.
Scott Altland has just about anything you might need this winter. He's seen quite a few of them and the havoc they can bring.
And you don't give it any thought. And then it's too late.
Altland emphasizes the need to be prepared both at home.
Flashlight, batteries, water. A lot of people don't think of that until it happens.
and on the road.
It's always good to have a pair of gloves, a small shovel, and a headlamp if you get a flat tire or anything along those lines.
If you aren't sure where to start,
probably the easiest would be to go online and research.
So that's what we did. Ready PA has several lists built out for emergencies in your car, home, and even the workplace. Some common denominators are food, water, and first aid kits. Scott says people miss out on other things like fire extinguishers that could come in handy during the winter.
I mean, the last thing you want is a fire in your household before the holidays. You don't want it any time, but the holidays especially.
And some items overhead at your local hardware store are often overlooked.
And the furnace filter is the #1 thing that people forget.
Simple and cheap fixes, Altland says, can go a long way.
You know, Grandma and Grandpa always said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You know, you can fix it for $5 or make a major repair for $500.
Logan Perrone, Fox 43 News.
Well, fantastic advice, and we have much more for you right now on Fox43.com. Print out your own HomeSmart winter checklist or rewatch any of the tips from our team of professionals on the website as well. Thank you so much for joining us for this special edition of Fox 43 News. Remember, you can check us out anytime on air, online, and on your streaming device with the Fox 43 Plus app. Stay warm, folks.